the summit's sage. The wind, a restless spirit, whipped around the crest of the hill, tugging at Alara's cloak and whistling through the sparse grasses that clung to the rocky soil. For months, she had wandered this rugged land, driven by a yearning she couldn't name, a deep, unquenchable thirst for something beyond the confines of her everyday existence. Her clothes were faded by the relentless sun, and the dust of countless roads clung stubbornly to her boots, each step a silent testimony to her long journey. From afar, the hill appeared as nothing more than a barren knoll amid an endless sea of rolling fields. Yet, as Alara ascended its winding path, the landscape began to change. At the summit, atop a flat, sun-baked rock that seemed untouched by the chaos of the elements, sat an old man. His face was etched with the map of a long, contemplative life, every wrinkle a line in a story of hardship and wisdom. His eyes, though clouded by age, shone with a profound and steady knowing. Clad in simple, earth-toned robes and accompanied by a gnarled wooden staff, he exuded an aura of quiet authority. When Alara reached the summit, the old man looked up, his gaze gentle yet piercing. "Welcome, wanderer," he said in a low, resonant rumble, as if the very wind carried his words across the hill. "The wind has carried you far." Stunned by his apparent awareness of her journey, Alara could only nod, her voice caught in her throat. I am searching," she finally managed, her voice rough from disuse. "I don't know exactly what I'm searching for, only that I need something more than what I have." The old man smiled warmly, a web of fine lines forming around his eyes. "Many come seeking what lies beyond, yet they overlook what lies within. Tell me, what have you seen on your journey?" he asked, inviting her to share her story. Alara hesitated, then began to recount her travels. She described bustling cities filled with clamor and ambition, quiet villages cradled in lush valleys, and endless deserts where the horizon stretched out in lonely majesty. She spoke of the kindness of strangers who offered brief solace, and of the indifference of crowds that swallowed her small hopes. In her words lay the echoes of breathtaking beauty and the crushing weight of desolation. The old man listened intently, his gaze never wavering as he absorbed every detail. When she finished, a long silence enveloped them, filled only by the persistent song of the wind. "You have seen much of the world," he finally said, his tone imbued with both praise and gentle reproach. "But tell me, have you truly seen yourself?" Alara's brow furrowed in confusion. I don't understand," she admitted softly. "The journey for something more often begins inside," he explained. "The world is a vast mirror, reflecting back to us what we already hold within our hearts." "What are you afraid to face about yourself, Alara?" His question struck her with unexpected force. All her travels had been an outward quest, a desperate search for meaning in distant places. Yet, in that moment, she realized she had never dared to look within. Fear, of inadequacy, of failure, of not being enough, had always held her back. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, "I fear that I am not good enough, that I may never find what I seek." The old man nodded with compassionate understanding. "The greatest journey is not the one that carries you to new lands, but the one that leads you to a new understanding of yourself. You are already complete, Alara. The something more you seek is not found in faraway places but in the way you learn to see the beauty of every moment." He gestured to the vast landscape spread before them, the rugged mountains, winding rivers, and resilient trees. "They do not strive to be something else, they simply are. Embrace your imperfections and honor your journey, for therein lies the true fulfillment." As she looked out over the horizon with fresh eyes, the world seemed both more vivid and intimately familiar. The wind continued its eternal dance, and the sun still blazed overhead, yet now there was a quiet peace within her. The yearning had not vanished, but it had transformed into a soft, persistent purpose. Rising from the rock, Alara felt the strength of newfound resolve in her limbs and spirit. "Thank you," she said, her voice clear and heartfelt. "I still have much to learn, but now I know where to begin." The old man's eyes twinkled with quiet wisdom as he offered one final piece of advice. "The journey never truly ends, child. You have rediscovered the most important path, the one that leads back to yourself." As Alara descended the hill, she carried not only the lessons of her travels but also a deep understanding of the inner landscape that awaited her exploration. The summit sage remained there, a silent guardian of ancient truths, ready to welcome the next lost soul seeking the way home. Thank you for listening. If you like our content, please like and subscribe.